And good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Mornings. I am your host and energy alchemist, Patricia Ribeiro Wolfson. I'm so happy to be here. And today's topic is all about letting go of expectations in order to truly live in the moment and make the best of your day. And of course, eventually your life, right? Because if you work on making the best of each and every day, then making the best of each moment, then you are living your best life, dependent upon whatever circumstances or challenges or situations you're facing at the moment. Every moment is about making it the best that you can, making the best of it. It's something that I push. It's true. I push it on my children. I remind them of it daily. You got to make the best of it. You're not feeling good. What can you do? You're, not doing some of the things you need to do. You don't want to take care of your obligations. How can you make the best of it? How can you look at it and approach it from a way that feels good to you, that feels in alignment with what your purpose and passion is in life? And there are ways to do it, and we're going to talk about that today. All right, so I am here to motivate and inspire you to create a daily routine that helps you calibrate and elevate your energy. Number 2, connect with your inner guidance. And number 3, navigate challenges with ease and grace. And that is my goal, not just for today, but every day. And you can find me here from Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Go on YouTube, subscribe to my channel at Me First Mornings, and don't forget to ding that notification bell so that you know when I'm here. All right. Other things that I want to talk about before we continue is that don't forget, I do have a free gift for anybody that's watching. Go to bit.ly/MeFirstMornings and you can get your quick reference guide. It's a Me First Mornings quick reference guide that includes, number 1, how to calibrate your energy. Number 2, the Me First Mornings ritual so that it's laid out for you. Number 3, the quick GPS activity to get you figuring out what that word is, what that essence is, the essence of your life. That thing that you're working towards, that GPS word, is going to help anchor you in your life in the direction that you want to go. So that's there in the guide as well. Also, it will talk about your daily ABCs and a simple guide to manage stress. It's like 5 pages, this quick little reference guide, and I think it can be super, super helpful. So please go ahead, and it's free. So download it, see if it works. And if you want to work with me on the things that are in this guide, feel free to send me a private message and we'll talk about it, set up an appointment, and we'll get a session, just you and me. We'll work through the things you need to work through, and we'll get you on your feet and going in the direction you want to go in life. All right. So let us start our session today with our opening ritual. Okay, so we do this ritual every day, and I like to do it sooner rather than later because it is important for us to sort of set the tone. I'm going to move this over a little bit more. For us to set the tone for our day, right? We are in charge of calibrating our energy. This is our vessel, and this vessel carries our life force. And our life force has energy, right? That energy is our responsibility. That life force, it's our responsibility to control it. It's our responsibility to wield it. It's our responsibility to how we navigate with that energy in the world, how we shine onto the world. That is our responsibility. And that's what Me First Mornings is about. It's about getting you tuned in to your inner guidance, to your passion, to your, the thing that you want the most. You have to tune it in first, right? So you have to set yourself up for the day and say, I want to have a peaceful and amazing day. All right. So you have to sit and think and be like, yes, I want today to be peaceful. I want today to be amazing. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to emit peaceful and amazing vibes out in the world, right? And that way you are embodying the very thing that you want in your life, and it sends out a signal, right? We talked about broadcasting last week. So you are broadcasting the signal of peace and harmony and whatever it is that you want. And you're more likely to encounter that in your day if that's the signal you're broadcasting, right? Just like if you were to walk down the street and you were to play a boom box, okay? Clearly, I'm a child of the 80s. But if you walk down the street, all right, or, you have your your little portable speaker, which is more likely something that people would have today, like a little portable speaker, and you're playing your favorite song, right? You're walking down the street and there's people kind of listening to the song, and maybe some people know it and some people don't, but somebody may come up to you and be like, oh my God, that's my favorite song. And you're like, really? That's my favorite song too. And suddenly you have a connection with somebody. Suddenly you start up a conversation. You have a reason to sort of connect. And that's what happens out in the world when you're broadcasting your signal, the things that you think, the things that you believe, the things that you feel passionate about. Then you are sending that signal, much like the bat signal, to other people on the planet, other people around you that connect with that because they're like, oh my God, they think that way too. I think that way. Oh, they're passionate about that too. Me too. There's someone that I feel connected to. I feel a synchronicity with, or a simpatico with. I feel, that I can get along with that person. Or then you become the evidence that someone needs, that they're not alone, that they're not the only ones who think that way, that they're not the only ones who are passionate about certain things. So that's why it's important to start with getting your energy right each and every day with the Me First Morning ritual. All right, so let's do that together then. So the first thing that we're going to do, of course, is we're going to set the tone or the stage for our ritual, and that is lighting the candle. All right, so I have my candle here nice and lit. I am going to put on my essential oils because that is going to be a reminder for my body that this is time to calm down and to become grounded. And I put them wherever they feel good to me. You put them wherever they feel good to you. Acupressure spots are good. I like the temples under here, the back of the neck. That's good too. Take a nice big whiff to start that feeling, so you're feeling good. All right. And I haven't done this in a while, but I have my crystal spheres. I like to use clear quartz crystal spheres. I don't always use them. As you can see, if you watch the show, sometimes I grab them, sometimes I don't. But this amplifies, clear crystal is an amplifier. So I like to use that when I want to amplify my spiritual practice, or when I just want to feel a little bit more centered and connected, because this also feels connected. It feels like it's sort of that feeling resonates throughout my body. All right, so put your feet well planted on the ground, and I want you to imagine that your feet are just like connected to the earth, and I want you to feel the roots in your feet. There's roots that just come down into the ground, connecting you to the earth. I want you to feel that. And I want you at the same time to open up the top of your head, and I want you to just allow that liquid sunshine, right? Like liquid sunlight. I want you to just imagine that it goes into the top of your head, filling your whole body with light, with healing, beautiful, brilliant white light that's just filling your body. And as that light is in your body, I want you to imagine that any stuck, stagnant, or dense energy just dissipates, right? That light breaks it apart. It just starts to go away. So then as we breathe, right, when you're breathing in, I want you to imagine that healing light coming in from the top of your head, and that beautiful creation energy from the earth, the same energy that helps the flowers grow and the trees grow. I want you to imagine that creation energy coming from the earth and that beautiful healing light that comes from the sun, all of that together, filling your body, healing all the parts that need to be healed, releasing all the things that need to be released. And with your exhale, you're going to let it go and let Mother Nature, Mother Gaia, and all of our spiritual support team, we're going to let them take care of whatever doesn't serve us and transmute it for the highest and greatest good of all. All right, so let's do that now. We're going to do this 3 times. We're going to do a count of 5 for a deep breath in. You're going to hold for 5 seconds, and then we're going to release really slowly for 10, because we are going to get ourselves centered and grounded and feeling really good. Okay, here we go. Deep breath in. And hold. And release. Beautiful. Do that one more time. Deep breath in. We're going to count breath of 5 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And release to the count of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, let's do that one last time. Really make it count. I won't count out loud. You can keep your own count. Deep breath in, hold for 5, and release for 10. Okay? And hold. And release. Now that breathing is going to help calm you down in any situation that you have. If you are faced with something, if you hear some news, if you get a terrifying phone call, it's not necessarily terrifying, but if you get a phone call, if you see something, if you do something, if you experience something that really like sets you back and you feel like you need to kind of get your bearings, this type of breathing will help you get your bearings. And then once you've done that, once you've calmed your system down, then we can start doing the rest, okay? You can just do the breathing when things like that happen in real life, right? But right now we're going to continue with the ritual, and any part of this ritual, any part of this Me First Morning ritual can be used separately or all together to help bring you back into neutrality no matter what is happening in your life. So, suddenly you hear some bad news, you get a diagnosis, you see something you don't want to see, you find a text message from somebody to someone you love that you didn't want to see, whatever the situation may be, the first thing you need to do is breathe and get your bearings, get yourself into center before you start letting your mind go wild and coming up with all the things that could be happening, right? Because we start making up stories, our mind starts going nuts, right? So what we need to do is bring ourselves back to center first, and this is how we do it. And now I'm going to do a little stretching, right? And so we want to stretch all the parts in our body that feel stiff or stagnant, right? Like we feel that stiffness, we feel the discomfort in our body. You want to pay attention to where that is, and you want to release the tension as much as possible. I find that it's helpful to breathe into those parts that are tense, right? When you're feeling the tension, you may pull your neck, and I have the pain like right here. And so I'm going to breathe in. And I'm going to focus on that breathing in that pain, and I'm going to stretch a little bit more and then release. And in that release, I want you to imagine everything just kind of leaving your body, all that tension just releasing. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you have pain is pay attention inside now. So that means you have an area that needs your attention, that needs your love, that needs your care. So if you have pain, you need to sort of take care of that. That's the school. Okay, hold on. Hold on, I gotta put you guys on hold because this is the school. Hold on. All right, woohoo! This is how we take care of business here on Me First Mornings. It's like just have to take care of it. So anyway, we're good. We're back to the show. Thank you for your patience and in that silence for a moment. Okay, so what's next? We've done the stretching, okay, and we shake it out. Oh, I forgot my bracelet, so I don't have my shaky sounds, but that's okay. We shake it out just like any animal shakes things out when they go from one section to another, right, in their life. When they stop one thing and they go to something else, there's usually a shake because they're releasing that energy from where they are and they're moving to a new thing, which requires new energy, a new neutrality, okay? And that's what we're trying to do here is we're trying to create this level of neutrality for you so that you can make decisions from a place of groundedness, of centeredness, and you're not sort of in the energy of panic or in the energy of the situation, in the energy of the challenge, right? Because if you're in panic mode or if you are triggered or if you are, feeling angry or frustrated or scared or overwhelmed, it's really hard to make the decisions that you need to make. It's really hard to take action because you completely become paralyzed. And so part of the Me First Morning routine is to help you get out of that paralysis and get you into a place where you can, number one, make clear decisions, and number two, take action from a place of stasis, of homeostasis, a place of neutrality, a place where you are connected to your inner guidance. Making a choice from your inner guidance is different than making a choice when you're panicked or you're scared. Good morning. Good morning, Susie. Good morning, Leslie. Nice to see you. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to call in our spiritual support team. We're going to ask them to hold our beautiful GPS word and our intentions. We're going to ask our spiritual support team to hold our intentions to help us accomplish our intentions for the day. So you're going to think about your GPS word. If you don't have one already, just think about the first thing that comes to your mind of how you want to feel today. Maybe you want to feel healthy. Maybe you want to feel abundant. Maybe you want to feel productive. Maybe you want to feel at peace. All of those things are important. Whatever resonates with you, think about that word. Pick a word for the day, and if you have my guide, the quick reference guide, do one of the GPS exercises and you can find your word there. All right, so let's call in our spiritual support team. I will say my prayer. If you have your own prayer with your own, connected to your own religious beliefs or your own spiritual beliefs, by all means, now's the time for you to call in your spiritual support team however you see fit. This is what I like to say for myself, and it applies to anyone else who it resonates with. Okay, here we go. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of love and light connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us to raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's talk about our topic today, because then I want to pull a card for us, right? So here's what I was thinking, right? We're talking about releasing expectations, because so often our life, we are building expectations. We are creating expectations, right? We set goals, and then we set goals for those goals. And we have all sorts of ideas about what we want to accomplish in our life and how we want to accomplish it. And with those goals and accomplishment ideas come the expectations of how we think things are going to go, right? Even from when we're little, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be this, I want to be that. Oh, that's great. So when you get married and you have children, you can do this and you can do that, right? Expectation, expectation, expectation. Laying the groundwork for what is expected of you as a person, and laying the groundwork for what is expected of you in society, what is expected of you to handle emotionally and spiritually. But that's not the case all the time, right? And so we end up working against ourselves with those expectations, because you know what? Things don't always work out the way we expect. Things don't always work out the way society tells us it's going to. Things don't always work out. No matter how hard you work towards something, it doesn't always work out in the way you imagine it will work out. Now, is there room for miracles? Yes. Is there room for beautiful things to happen? And the way that things work out sometimes, aren't they so much better than what you would have planned for yourself? Hell yes. Right? So that is the bonus of releasing expectations. Because sometimes when we have expectations, we're looking for things to turn out a certain way, that we're looking for things to look a certain way. And when they don't look that way, we spend so much time focusing on how it doesn't look the way we thought that we sometimes miss the gift of what is, the beauty of how our life has actually turned out in this moment, how far we've come, all the things we've accomplished, and how we've been able to evolve as humans, no matter what the challenges in our life. And that's the thing that I want to focus on most with this topic today, right? It's like, how can you release the expectations? So I started thinking about this yesterday, and I wrote a little something, and I'm going to talk about a little bit of what I wrote, right? So the idea is this, like, what if this is as good as it gets, right? What if you right now are at your hottest, right? Your best looking right now, nothing to do with the past, right? So many times we look back and we're like, oh my God, it's so beautiful then, I didn't realize it, right? I mean, how many times do we say that, right? We're like, oh my God, I thought I was so fat. Oh my God, I thought I was so ugly. Oh my God, I thought, and you look back at those pictures and you're like, God, I was so stupid. I was gorgeous. I was, so vibrant, right? And then, you only realize that 20 years later, right? So my goal is to help you realize that now is the time. Now you are at the best that you can be in this moment, right? What if this is as healthy as you're going to be, as hot as you're going to be, and as financially comfortable as you're going to be? Now, you may hear me say that and be like, oh shit, then I'm in trouble, right? Because I don't think I look good. I'm certainly not healthy, and I'm broke as shit. So that doesn't give you a lot to look forward to, right? But what this is about releasing expectations. This is not about me taking away the possibilities of what can come into your life, but it's about releasing the expectation of being more beautiful, of being, more fit or healthier, of being richer, of being somewhere where you're not in the moment. It doesn't matter what's coming in the future. The only thing that matters is this moment right now, because it's the only thing that you have control over. It's the only thing that you can affect. So if you knew that life cannot get any better than this, right? If you thought it could potentially go downhill from here, right? What would you do? How would you change the way you walk through your day if you're like, this is as good as it's going to get, right? What if you knew next week you were going to get a phone call where, suddenly you had a diagnosis? And we've lived that here in our home. And so I'm using this as an example because, things happen all the time and people experience things all the time where, things change suddenly and, you find your partner with somebody else that they're having an affair and you didn't see it coming. Or, you, like our situation, you get a diagnosis you weren't expecting and suddenly things change and they go downhill. They change in a terrible transformational, terrible at first, but transformational way, and things really change. And you're like, man, if I had only known that this was going to happen, I would have done all of this. I would have quit my job. I would have left that relationship. I would have, put all my eggs in the basket that I was inspired to, invest in years ago, right? You think of all these things that you would have done. So you need to stop putting yourself in a position where you're going to regret the choices that you make. And you have to start living as if this is it. This is as good as it's going to get, right? And if this is as good as it's going to get, you have to start thinking, what's the game plan, right? What's the game plan? What can you do instead of being going, oh my God, why me? Why am I in this situation? Why am I sick? Why am I, starting life over again? Why am I not being valued and appreciated at work and I may lose my job? Why me, right? And you have to turn that around and think to yourself, what can I do about this situation? What can I bring to this situation? How can I shine my light in this situation? How can I make the best of this situation, right? You don't feel good? You're hurting, you're in pain. How can you be more comfortable? How can you improve your level of comfort? How can you improve your happiness? How can you make changes right now to make things a little bit easier, or make things a little bit more fun, or make things a little bit more peaceful? And I know this sounds ridiculous because some of you are going yeah, right, I have time for fun, or I have time for peace. But I do this every day. And I do this with my husband. I do it at home with everything that we've been going through in terms of his health challenges. It is something that is really important and has helped because you only have right now. You only have this moment, and I believe, and if you guys know me, you've been watching the show, I'm an optimist, right? I always believe things are going to get better. I always believe that everything is working out in the highest and greatest good, right? And so maybe it seems like it's a little easier for me to do that, but let me tell you, life will bring you challenges and you really have to work hard and say, no, I am not going to let these circumstances suck the life out of me. I am not going to let these circumstances suck the light out of me. I am still going to shine. I am still going to show up. I am still going to do everything in my power to contribute positively to this situation however I can. You may not be able to do much. You may not have the energy. You may not have the patience. You may not have the wherewithal. You may not have, the emotional stability or mental capacity to make things much better. But there's always a tiny little thing you can do. And a tiny little thing in the direction that you want to go is better than nothing. It's better than moving backward, right? Even if you just need some time to be and to just accept what is happening in your life and to be able to do that and release any anger or resentment towards your current situation. You have to disconnect from what you think is supposed to be happening in your life and change it so that you are like, okay, this is what's happening in my life. How can I contribute to shifting it in a better direction? What is the tiniest little thing that I can do, even if it's tiny? Even if it's like, you know what, I'm going to get out of bed today and that's all I can do and that's all I can muster. You know what? Boom, that's better, right? Without any expectation of I'm going to get out of bed and then I'm going to, do the laundry and then I'm going to do this. And we start like adding things and expectations of, well, if I can do this, I can do this. If you can do it, if you are able to take advantage of that momentum of that tiny shift, absolutely, you're going to. But release the expectation that you have to. Release the expectation that you should be doing it. Release the expectation that if it does not go in the way that you want, that something's wrong with you or that you're broken or that you're destined for misery for your whole life, because it doesn't work that way. You have to bring the light to whatever situation you're in. That's the best piece of advice. The best encouragement that I can give you is that it's so important that you keep in perspective that you are the one that makes the changes in your life. You are the one that can shift what happens in your life and how you perceive things. We can't control what shows up in our world. We can't, right? Even though, and I said it in the post, if you guys read it, we do have control of our energy. That's the whole point of Me First Mornings, is that there are things that we can control and we can shift what happens and how things happen to us, right? But it's so much on a subconscious level. We're not consciously creating the situations in our life, and we can't control everyone else's reaction, and we can't control world leaders and what they do, right? So the circumstances that we live through, the systemic, racism, the systems that exist that are in place, that's not something that we can control, but it is something that we are a part of and that we can contribute to either positively or negatively by our choices and by our actions. And so that is what you need to keep in mind. I tell my children all the time, life is like a video game. These are our avatars. And those things out there, even the things that we don't like, are the rules you need to follow in order to live in this world, to exist in this game, right? In this platform. So you need to know the rules, and then just like our kids who's like try to figure out ways to get around things, that's what you need to do. You need to figure out, okay, so I can't do any more than this because these are the boundaries of my character right now. So what can I do to get around it? What can I do to still have fun? What can I do to still bring joy? What can I do to contribute to this so that I can get out of this part of it and go to the next level and get to the next, in the game, there's always new levels. You always get new things. There's new tools. There's new, adventures to go on. And life is the same. So you have to figure out, what can I do? What are the rules I need to follow? And what can I get away with? And what can I add? And what can I contribute? And how can I hack my way through this? As in like a life hack, not as in hack. Although sometimes both. Okay. All right. So let me pull a card real quick because we are at the end. And of course I'm over. And I'm over in my time because this topic is super, super important to me, because the one thing that I try to help people with is releasing the expectations of what you think is supposed to be happening. Because when you hold on so tightly to expectations, you end up missing all the gifts that come your way. When you're like, man, I was supposed to meet this person and instead I met this person, right? Like it happened. And if you talk to, If you talk to us one-on-one, meaning myself and Scott, there's plenty of stories that we can tell you of things that happened where we thought something was going one way and then we released our expectation, and where we were led was a much better direction. And that happens in life all the time. But if you're stuck on what you think you're supposed to get or what you're supposed to do, you might miss it. And so I encourage you to just be open to the possibilities. If you are doing your Me First Morning exercises, centering yourself and really letting go of any expectations and surrendering to your spiritual support team and letting them guide you along the way, you will see that life will have little surprises for you, little miracles, little shifts, and things will start working out for you in a way that you can't even imagine. Yes, you're still going to have challenges because that's life. You're going to have challenges no matter what, right? Back to the video games, right? Like you're playing the game, you're having fun. It's not fun until you have a boss battle, right? They got to have a boss battle. So, everybody has to have their boss battle. And, ours right now is what we're dealing with Scott's health, and yours may be, a broken relationship or your own diagnosis that you're dealing with. That's your boss battle, right? But don't give up. Use your tools. Stay in it and fight. All right, here we go. What's the card say? Okay, so the card that came up was number 40, and it's follow the leader. Follow the leader, okay? So what this is about is like your intuition, right? Your inner guidance is your leader. That is exactly what you need to be connected to and making decisions from that place, from your leading place, from your North Star, right? Figure out what's really important to you, right? What's really important to you. And then you can make decisions based on what's really important to you. And I remember, I'm going to share this story. And one of my besties, Linda, you guys may or may not know about my voice issues, but I've had a lot of issues with my voice. Of course, I use my voice all the time, and I was a singer, and I've been in performance. I've been a performer for many years, and so my voice is like my lifeline. I mean, it's everybody's lifeline because it's where you create from. But anyway, I had some real big issues with my voice, and when I met Linda, it was at the peak of when my voice really wasn't functioning properly. And she looked at me one day in like a friend coaching session, which is how we became besties, because we just launch into these coaching sessions. And it was actually a pajama party at Infinite Receiving where she gave me this advice. And she looked at me and she said, what if your voice never gets better? What if it never improves? And this is what your voice is going to be like for the rest of your life. And it really brought me to tears. And I was so upset because I was like, I don't want my voice to be like this for the rest of my life. It's not fair. I was a singer. I'm a performer. I use my voice all the time. I don't want it to keep giving out on me. And you'll see that on the show, sometimes my voice disappears a little bit and you may not hear it exactly because I continue to have issues. But let me tell you, once I was able to, and I wasn't able to do it right away when she told me, but it was a seed that she planted that helped me see, like, what if? I can't be angry at my voice every single day, all day, because it was getting to be so frustrating. I was holding so much stress about this. And it still comes back once in a while. But I had to release any pressure I was adding to myself for my voice to function the way I expected it to. And so I removed any expectation that I had from my voice and what it was going to do. And let me tell you, it took some time. It took a few months. It took maybe a year or so. But I got it back. It came back in a way that it hasn't been back in a long time. And I encourage you to remember to stay connected to that inner guidance, because that's going to lead you, because your inner guidance is never yelling at you and telling you suck. Your inner guidance is always holding you with love and compassion and kindness. Your inner guidance always has your best interest at heart. And so if you hear any of that inner critic speaking, that's not your guidance. That is just years of conditioning of living in this world, right? Your inner guidance is always going to lead you forward, and it's always going to say, hey, do this. How about this? Try this. And when you continue to answer the call, when it shows up and tells you the things that you need to hear, you will see how things will evolve differently for you. Sarah, thank you for that reminder. Stay in it and fight. It's all we can do. That's it. That's it, right? Always keeping in mind that you are the prize and your ultimate goal is to be in complete alignment with that inner voice, with that inner guidance. And you know it's inner guidance when the voice is loving, when the voice is supportive, when the voice is encouraging. That's when it's inner guidance. When you're hearing a barrage of insults and all the reasons why you're failing, that's not your inner guidance. That's not God telling you all the ways you messed up in life, okay? That is the inner critic that was born from how society kind of functions, okay? So, thank you for coming. I know I went way over. Thank you. Susie, thank you for being here. I really appreciate seeing you here today again. I'm here every Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. I will be back tomorrow. I really, truly do love you all, and I hope you realize that you are the light. So don't forget to keep shining. I love you. Okay.